Hey guys, it's Kendra. Today I'm going to talk all about starting a YouTube channel. If you guys missed my first part, I talked about my kind of journey starting a YouTube channel, what it was like when I first started, why I started a channel, and tips for you guys if you do want to start your own. So I'll link that down below. I definitely suggest watching that first. And all three kids are napping right now, so it's all good. Today I wanted to answer your guys' questions I asked on my Instagram, which is with Kendra, if you guys don't follow me there. I asked you what you wanted to see for topics on making YouTube your job and making it your business. So a lot of you guys asked things about sponsorships and working with brands, contacting brands, editing, equipment, a bunch of stuff. So I'm just gonna literally go through your questions and answer them like that. I feel like that's gonna be the most helpful for you guys. So I hope you find this useful, and let's get started. Okay, so first I got a lot of questions on equipment and do you need a specific camera, lighting, all of that to start a channel. Okay, so it's different now than it was when I first started. I also think it depends on what type of content you are planning on having on your channel. When I first started, I was doing like makeup tutorials and beauty videos, so I really needed good lighting. Honestly, if I were to do it again, I don't think I would buy studio lights. I used to use studio lights. And well, you know what? It depends. It depends on your home and the amount of natural light you have. I'm sitting in front of a window right now. I used to use 2 studio lights, and I would typically, like where I would film wasn't necessarily in front of a window, so that would mimic my light, but it wasn't like this. I prefer. So it depends on your house, where you're filming, what type of content you're filming. I just feel like this is just more real and more natural, and I just like it more. But when I first started, like everybody had a ring light and studio lights, and it was like this whole thing. Right now, I don't do any of that because, especially now, like the content I'm creating is more just natural, raw, authentic stuff at home. And it would be like insane to have studio lights when I'm filming my kids. First of all, they knock it all over, but also it just is not necessary for where I'm at right now. So don't use lights. I started out with a Canon T3 Rebel, and now I use a Canon 80D. And the reason for switching to this camera is because the content I used to film, I used to do a lot of more product-based videos, and I always wanted that autofocus feature, which my other camera didn't. So that's why I got this one. I love it. I do want to get a smaller camera just to have for around the house. Like, I like this camera for sitting down, but usually now I'm filming all around the house all day long, so it's kind of a pain to lug this thing around. If you are just doing stationary videos, I think it's great to have a camera like this, but for vlogging, it's large. I used to use my phone for vlogs because I have the new phone and it has a great camera, but when I was editing, I use iMovie to edit, but when I was editing my videos, every now and then there'd be like a glitch in the video, and it was only when it was content from my phone. So I stopped doing that, but it was super nice to just use my phone. But if you're just starting out, totally use your phone. Cameras on iPhones right now are so good, so I definitely think that's fine. And I just airdrop my footage if it's on my phone. Like when I am vlogging, say I'm out doing something where I don't want to take my big camera, I will just still film on my phone, and then I just airdrop the footage to my computer. As far as photo editing, I do all of that on my phone actually. I love Lightroom, and then I use different presets. I mainly use Alexa Jean presets. I like hers a lot, and then I adjust them slightly. As far as videos for my channel, I upload all my files to my computer. This is what I have, and I edit everything on iMovie, and it's worked fine for me. I know a lot of people use Final Cut Pro. I just have never used it, and I just taught myself how to use iMovie. YouTube is kind of a strange gig because there's not really a guide to it, especially when I started. It wasn't really like a huge popular thing to do. So I just had to figure everything out on my own. And so with editing on iMovie, it's fairly user-friendly and you can figure it out. But if there was ever something I didn't know how to do, I would just go to YouTube and Google it or whatever, and you'll find out how to do it, especially now. Like there's an answer for everything if you have a question on editing or software or whatever it is. But yeah, somebody said, do you think it requires expensive camera equipment to have a successful channel? I think the main thing is lighting. I think people want to see a clear video. They want it to see it bright. They don't want to see it to be too dark, just so it's, you know, pleasing to watch. So if you have good lighting, I think that's key. But yeah, if you have a newer phone, I think your phone should be fine. How do you plan out videos, scheduling tips for filming, editing, and upload dates? So before I had kids, it was way different. Everything was very scheduled. I had my filming days, I had my editing days, and I had my upload days. And it was all routine. Every day was the same. It was the dream, okay? And then 3 children came along and that threw it all out the door. So I try to stick with this schedule, but it's just hard. Like every day is different. With vlogs too, it's not like I can schedule things out too far in advance, because when I used to do just like beauty and health videos, I could pre-film things and then save them. But now that I'm doing more vlogs, you want those to go up pretty frequently. Like you want to post them not too long after you film them, because you want it to be kind of consistent with your daily life. So that kind of makes things a little tricky. I tend to have 2 days where I usually film, because I upload twice a week. I tried uploading 3 times a week and it was just too much for me. I found that I was not as good of a mom when I upload 3 times a week. So I do, now that I'm reading this, I do want to get back to different filming days and different editing days, because the reason that's really helpful is because, especially for me, like I don't like to get ready every single day. So when I'm filming, I like to put on some makeup, you know, get dressed for the day and just like feel put together. Whereas days when I'm just editing and doing a lot of emails and computer work, I don't really care to spend time in my day to get ready. It doesn't seem worth it to me. So that's why it's nice to kind of shoot all of your content, like photos and whatever videos you're shooting, on one day, so that you're just ready to go. And also you can have the mindset that today we're just shooting content. You don't have to worry about uploading all your footage and importing, like that's a whole nother thing. So you can just have your camera, shoot all your content, and then the next day you can worry about doing all the other back-end items. But I would recommend picking 2 consistent days to upload, just so your subscribers know what to expect, and it just kind of keeps you in check. Because when you are a YouTuber, there's nobody telling you you need to upload these days. Like it's all on you, and it's you decide how hard you want to work, and you decide when you want to film and when you want to post. So you just have to be very strict with yourself and hold yourself accountable to a routine. Okay, so let's talk about brand deals and approaching companies and setting rates for product and all that. So when I first started, I just was accepting product, and then it got to a point where I developed a big enough following where people were willing to pay me to promote their product. And I mentioned this in my other video, but once you have a certain amount of followers, you guys need to know that what you're doing for this company is valuable to them. Because I always thought, this is so cool, I'm getting free product and whatnot, but it's free advertising if you're just talking about product that they're giving to you. You need to realize how much time and effort you're putting into making all this content that you should get paid for, you know? Like this is your time and your energy, like you are working for this company. So yes, I've reached out to some brands directly if I wanna work with them in particular, but usually it's brands who are coming to me and they will talk about their company and say, we'd love to work together. So the first step for me is, am I interested in this product? What I always tell myself, if I would not pay the money for this product, then I'm not gonna promote it on my channel. So if it's a product that's like kind of cool, but I'm just like, I'm not that into it, I just say, you know, thank you for reaching out to me. I appreciate you thinking of me, but at this time I'm not going to move forward with this collaboration. Now know that, I don't know the percentage, it's a lot. Like I want to say 70% of companies that reach out to me, I say no to, because I'm very particular with who I work with. I only want to show brands that I truly, truly love, because I value you guys, first of all. And so if you guys aren't going to trust me, then it's like pointless to even have a channel, because if your subscribers don't trust you, then you know, what's the point? So if I am interested in the product, then I will get back to them and we will kind of talk about what we could do and how we can incorporate their product or whatever it is, company, the brand, into my content, just so it flows organically and just it fits into my normal day-to-day life. So as far as creating a rate for things, you can charge for an Instagram post, Instagram stories, featuring them in your YouTube video. So whatever you are posting on, like whatever social platforms, have a rate for each one. And I would just say start kind of low and just feel it out. See if people are all saying, if they're all saying no, that's too high, then clearly you've made your rate too high. And just kind of go from there. Like when I first started, I had no idea what to charge for anything. And then you just kind of feel it out. And if a ton of companies are saying yes to what you're asking for, then you can charge a little bit more and kind of see how it goes. And then eventually you will see that you'll kind of have a number that is pretty consistent with what people are wanting to pay you. And also a lot of companies will come to you with a rate that they're willing to pay you. And now there's so much, analytics and things where people can see how many people are watching your videos and how many people are engaging with your content. When I first started, I had a company that was tied to my YouTube channel, and they would bring me deals, but I wasn't really getting many with them. It was just kind of whatever. Most of my collaborations were coming directly to me. Like the brands were coming to me. And then it started getting to the point where it was a lot of work and a lot of emails that I was having to get back to. It kind of got overwhelming. So that's when I ended up getting a manager. So they now, like if I'm interested in a deal, I will usually forward it to them, and then they will start speaking with the company. Sometimes I'll just deal with it on my own, but a lot of the times I'll just forward it to them, and then they will negotiate stuff, and then we'll go from there. But I will say that has helped a lot because it just takes away a lot of back and forth between brands, because that takes up so much time, is the figuring out what you want to do together, and then the product, and then the content. It's just a lot of back and forth between brands. So it just basically streamlines the process a lot more now, where I get everything that I need from the brand, and I can just go from there and start creating content. Another thing you can do is DM a company on Instagram if you don't know how to get a hold of them, and ask for their email. I don't think it's great to do business on Instagram DMs. Like if a company is reaching out to me there, I usually just say, can you please send me an email, because it's easier to talk there. Instagram DMs can get like buried deep. It's hard sometimes to keep that under control. So if you are wanting to talk to a company, it's totally fine, I think, to reach out to them on Instagram, but ask for an email. That's best to talk with them and then go from there. Okay, somebody said, how much content should you have ready before launching your channel? I don't think you should have anything backed up. Like just go for it. If you have one video, put the one video up and just see how it goes. Just because you gotta just start somewhere. Okay, somebody asked about content, like knowing what type of content to create. If you have an Instagram following already, ask them, like ask your audience, post a question little sticker on your story and say, what do you want to see? What are you interested in? Because all of your videos are for your subscribers. So you want to be posting stuff that they want to see and that they're interested in. I do think that looking at your analytics on your YouTube channel is super helpful, because it shows you what people are watching and what they're not watching about. Because I used to do empties videos and I stopped doing them. A lot of you guys asked why I stopped them. And it's because they didn't get many views. When I post a day in the life, or when I post a what I eat in a day, those perform way better. Way more people are watching them. Whereas when I would do an empties video, it would get like a fourth of that. So for me, it was just kind of like, okay, well, that's not worth it for my channel anymore, because people aren't caring about that. So you just have to assess your content and see how it's doing. If a video is just not doing well, you gotta kind of figure out where to go from there. And I'm constantly doing this all the time. Like I'm always trying to figure out what you guys want more of, what you want less of, and just kind of catering my content to what you are wanting to watch. Okay, do you need a lot of followers to turn your YouTube into a business? So I would just say, yes, you need to have somewhat of a following, because people aren't going to pay you to post something if nobody is watching you. It used to be more about the numbers and your subscribers, but now it's more about engagement and comments and actually talking with your subscribers and engaging with them, and people who are trusting you and are invested in you and your life. Because say you have 1 million subscribers, but nobody is commenting on any of your videos, like that's just kind of odd. So people would rather work with somebody who has less subscribers, but they're seeing that all of their subscribers are very interested in what they're posting and they're all talking together. Like it's a different type of engagement than just having a huge following. Okay, somebody asked how to know whether it is a good deal or a bad deal. So I would say, first of all, look at the email. If it's like a sketchy person who it's from and you don't know what even the brand is. Like if somebody's not even sending you a link to their website, that's kind of that's worrisome to me. Also, if it's a copy and pasted thing or if the font's different, like you can usually tell from the format of an email if it's legit or not. Also, if it just says like, hey, or influencer or stuff like that, like that's usually not gonna work out. So I prefer if people say Kendra, they use my name, maybe they're, letting me know that they watch my channel and use an example, something like that where it's a little bit more personal, it's authentic and real. I pretty much know all the time right away if I want to work with somebody or not because I'm genuinely interested in that company. Okay, let's talk about like emotionally if you're ready to start a channel, because it requires thick skin. When I first started my channel, it was very kind of surface. It was, beauty products I'm talking about, food, diet. So it never really was an issue for me. Like I never had any negative comments or anything. And then as my content shifted to more family and vlogs, I'm opening my home up to people and people really feel like they know you and they know everything about you, but that's just not the case. So keep in mind, I talk about this all the time with Andrew, like it's a constant topic is dealing with other people's opinions, because when you are posting on the internet, like you have to understand that people are going to be saying things to you in a comment or whatever that will offend you, that will hurt your feelings and will make you upset. It might make you mad, it might make you sad. So you have to really get a tough skin, because what I always tell myself is these people, I'm trying to think of like what actually gets to me. I'm a pretty tough person. So I let a lot just like roll off. I don't let it get to me. But if it's about my kids, that's when it's like, oh no. Or if it's about my parenting, like things like that really kind of get to me. So what I try to tell myself is they're seeing a tiny percentage of my life. Like when I post a day in life, it's usually 20 to 30 minutes. And just think 20 minutes out of the entire day is so tiny. I was literally just talking about this with Andrew and I was saying, if I ever see people say anything mean about somebody in the comments, there's always somebody who responds and says something like, well, they asked for this because they put themselves on the internet, like they should expect this. And I don't agree with that, because even if you're, being vulnerable and posting about whatever, that doesn't mean that people can just be mean to you. Like obviously they can have their own opinions of you, but why does that mean that they can post it? Like why is it ever okay to post something mean about somebody on their page? Like it just is so, there's no point in that. Are you just trying to hurt their feelings? Or are you just trying to make yourself look bad? I will never understand it. So just know that you will most likely get some people who are going to say something that's going to hurt your feelings, get you upset, because there's people out there that's just what they do. And you just need to know yourself and just, have confidence in yourself. The internet, especially like recently, social media has just become such a negative place. And I feel like everybody just thinks that they can just attack people and shame people for doing things. And, they're so quick to judge. And I just think you should take a step back before you say something on somebody's page and think, what is the purpose of this? Like, how is this going to help them? I can understand conversation and maybe constructive criticism and things like that. Maybe send a DM, but to post something like publicly is just, there's really no purpose in that. I do want to say though that I get such a small amount of negative comments. I'm very fortunate. Most of you guys are really great. There's just a tiny percentage of people who will say something. And usually what I do now is I'll just delete it, because I don't like to have any source of negativity on any of my content. There's just no need for that. I'm trying to bring videos for you guys that are going to encourage you and bring you help you in some way. So there's no point in having like huge debates or anything like that on my channel. That's not the point of my channel. Somebody asked, how do you figure out your aesthetic? And I think this is a good question, because I think when you are starting a channel, it's important to figure out what you want to brand yourself as. Like what your channel is basically your resume. So when a brand is coming to your channel, they're getting a quick glimpse of who you are as a person, and also what you're offering to everybody. Is it a family channel? Is it a beauty channel? Is it health? What is it that you're trying to bring to people? I think a lot of the times people want to do everything so that they attract a lot of different types of people, but I think it's smarter if you have a smaller niche, because then you're gonna get people that are more invested in you, and it's more of a closer community. And that was something that I struggled with, because when I first started, since my content was different, I kind of started to shift the type of videos I was posting. And then I was worried about, my subscribers that don't have kids yet, and maybe they wouldn't care about the content I was posting now. But I was realizing that I have to make videos based on my life and my interests, because I can't fake it. I don't do my makeup every day now. I don't sit and spend a lot of time trying a bunch of new products. So it didn't make sense for me to create content that are more product heavy videos. That's why I just kind of had to make the shift, because of my life and just where I was at. And when I had twins, that's when my content really changed too, because all of a sudden I got all of these new twin moms that have found me through my pregnancy vlogs. So now I have so many people who follow me that have twins. It was important for me to bring content for them specifically. But even with design and colors and all of that, have a very detailed look that you like. Honestly, create a mood board online and go through Pinterest and figure out images that appeal to you and color schemes, just so you know your brand. I kind of want people, if they're out shopping or something, to see something and think, oh, that Kendra would really like that. You want people to have kind of a way to remember you by. If you have any other questions or topics you want me to talk about, send me a DM on Instagram, leave me a comment, and maybe I'll do a part 3. But again, I hope you guys found this helpful. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today. I just heard Owen wake up too, so perfect time. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.